Double Trouble in Walla-Walla by Andrew Clements.
It was an ordinary Monday morning in Walla-Walla until Lulu raised her hand in class.
Mrs. Bell, I feel like a nitwit. My homework is all higgledy-piggledy. Last night it was in tip-top shape, but now it's a big mishmash.
Mrs. Bell said,
Nitwit, higgledy-piggledy, mishmash. Lulu, stop that flip-flop, chitter-chatter, or you'll be in double trouble. Lulu said,
But I'm not trying to flip-flop chit-chat. I just have an itty-bitty problem with my homework.
Mrs. Bell scowled.
All right for you, Lulu. If you're going to shilly-shally and dilly-dally with all this fancy-schmancy yak-yak, then we'll just have to trot down to the principal's office.
Mrs. Bell hurried Lulu down the hall, and they busted into the principal's office.
Hee, yak, yak, my, blah, blah, looky. Shh, come.
What's all the hubbub about?
Mr. Thomas said.
Mrs. Bell scowled. Mrs. Bell said,
Lulu's been trying to razzle-dazzle me with some kind of lippity-lappity jibber-jabber, and now I am all helter-skelter myself.
Mr. Thomas raised his eyebrows.
Tut, sounds like some silly-willy hocus-pocus to me.
Mrs. Bell's mouth dropped open. She pointed to the principal and said, Eeka-freaka, Lulu's got your tongue all topsy-turvy, too.
Now, don't get the jim-jams, Mrs. Bell. Let's give the nurse a yoo-hoo.
Mr. Thomas picked up his phone and said,
Mrs. Kerr, I'm going to pitter-patter over to your office, okie dokie.
All three ran across the hall to the nurse's office. Mr. Thomas said,
Howdy doody, Mrs. Carter. We're a little wacko. Lulu's got us talking the sing-song clap-trap like we're cuckoo.
Mrs. Carter smiled at Lulu and said,
Fiddle-faddle, Lulu and I are palsy-walsies. She wouldn't try that kind of phony baloney, tutti-frutti, flim-flam.
Lulu and her teacher and the principal stared at the nurse and said,
Wowie zowie.
Mrs. Bell said,
Jeepers creepers.
And Mr. Thomas said,
Holy moly, you're in the same hodgepodge we are. I better give the superintendent a jingle-jangle chop-chop.
Wait one ding-dong tick-tock.
shouted the nurse.
If you chit-chat with a big wig, then I'll yak like Lulu, too. If we're not very, very hush-hush about this, there could be a mongo, brain drain, and everybody in Walla-Walla will be talking like a herky-jerky ding-a-ling.
Then the nurse turned to Lulu.
Lulu, let's get to the nitty-gritty. When did all this mumbo-jumbo start?
Lulu gulped, she said.
In English class, I had an itty-bitty problem with my homework. And then, zip-zap, Mrs. Bell said talking like this was a no-no.
The nurse looked over the nurse looked over the top of her glasses at Lulu.
Lulu, let's get this Sometimes like this would not just happen willy-nilly. Now, Lulu, think extra hard and tell me what happened to you. What did you did yesterday?
Well,
Said Lulu.
It was a really humdrum day. I was practicing ballet in my tutu when my little brother Bobo asked me to play on the teeter-totter. We seesawed until Bobo slipped off and got a boo-boo and started to boo-hoo. Mama and Papa came running pell-mell. So I splish-splashed in the rubber-dub tub and hip-hopped into my cuddly-wuddly bitty-buddy. And then I said night-night to Mama and Papa and Bobo and fell asleep in a sip-snap. That's all I did, honest.
Mrs. Carter said,
Lulu, it seems to me that you open up a knock-em, stock-em, dibble-wobble word warp. I usually don't believe in this kind of hoodoo
Jungle, jungle, but if it was going to happen anywhere, it would probably happen right here in Walla-Walla.
Mrs. Bell said,
Let's not quibble quabble, Mrs. Carter. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies from all this razzmatazz. What can we do? We should say all this rootin' tootin', creakum, woolly-bully words we can't think of. Maybe that will clear the air and close the warp. Worth a try?
asked Miss Carter. Mr. Thomas said,
Aye, aye.
Mrs. Bell said, Let's do-si-do.
and Lulu said, Miss Carter closed the door to her office. Then she turned around and said,
Lulu, let's get this arm scarf show on the road. Lulu stood right up and blurted out,
Ticky-tacky, knick-knack, coochie coo. Hubba, Roger, Dodger, gooey goo.
Mrs. Carter cleared her throat and said,
Hugger, mugger, hub-nub, pitter-patter, bun, wishy-washy, squash, squish, squash, handy-dandy, mishmash.
Mr. Thomas closed his eyes and started slowly but picked up the speed.
Teensy, peensy, choo-choo, teeny-tiny, hurdy-gurdy, roly-poly, rag-tag, hurly-burly, riff-raff, rumble-tumble, hip-hop, teeny-weeny, pop-top, namby-pamby, hippy-dippy, hoity-toity, hot-shot.
And then Mrs. Bell stood up and took a deep breath. Put, zoom, zoom, honk, honk, zoom, zoom, zigzag, clink, clink, slam, slam, bender, ringy-dingy, cling, clang, ring-a-ding, doing, boing, ring-a-ling, zing, zang, bing, bang, boom. Never, wig-wam, tricky-wicky, tom-tom, witsy-witsy, tittle-tattle, tee-hee-hee.
And then, without warning, words floated in the air. Fuzzy, wuzzy, fuddy-duddy, loosey-goosey, lovey-dovey, kissy-kissy, huggy-huggy, wink-a-dink-a-doo, gawa, go-go, so-so.
Frou-frou, goo-goo, poo-poo, woo-woo, drinky-dinky, arf-arf, argy, woof-woof, boogie-woogie, bow-wow, super-duper, boogie-scooper.
Flippity-cloppity, hippity-hoppity, clickety-clackety, rickety-rockety. Blah, 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 ba, 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 ha, 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 tip, top, drip, drop, click, clack, lick, whack.
Eager beaver, lucky ducky, comfy, fat cat. Hee-haw, tweet, chirp, cheep, cluck, quack, yuck.
Bozo, yo-yo, heyday, mayday, hokey-pokey, hanky-panky, goody-goody, yummy, tum-tum, gimme, gobble, jelly belly, dum-dum. Fee, my, rag bag, tie-dye, beep, ho, pa, dojo, root-a-toot, zoot, looky, yo-ho-yo.
Voodoo, boob, tube, moo, poo. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, better, oughta, ship, shape, sump, pump, achy, breaky, do that.